But this morning we have an opportunity to share with you guys what we know for a fact is the best opportunity on the planet, bar none. Now, we're in something called a phase one launch. Phase one launch. All that is you have an opportunity to get positioned in front of a tsunami for $35. How much it costs to get your hair done, Miss Ann?
More than that when I go.
How much it costs to get your nails done?
Much more.
45. So for less than getting your hair done, for less than getting your nails done, you can plug in to a business and have a business, own a business with a world-class level website for $35 once every 12 months. How many people like that, right? So then what would happen is February 6th, we're actually launching, and you can choose whether or not you want to get a package at that time. But you're literally in business for $35, right, today, if you decide to do so, or tomorrow, it doesn't matter. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, what we're going to do is we're literally going to show you a $50 million plan that's going to be accomplished this year. $50 million vision that the company Nspire Network has. And I'm going to show you one of the flagship products that they're going to use to get it. So, a while back, a good friend of mine literally was inviting me to his home to take a look at something, and I was telling him no. I was turning it down, right? Because I didn't want to get distracted. Well, I remember that I always tell everybody, I do trainings to people that are friend, family member, co-workers, attempting to introduce you to something. Just the fact that it's a friend, family member, co-worker, go take a look at it to give it an educated no. Does that make sense? Yes. So don't give them a knee-jerk reaction like you're walking into a Macy's and somebody saying, can I help you? And you just automatically say no because you want to look. Or, you know, when you're walking through a house, this is what gets me the most. When I'm going to look at a house, if I'm with, Brandy, we're looking at homes, and the home, seller is wanting to walk with you and say, this is the kitchen. I'm like, I know this is the kitchen. You mind if we just walk through here alone and kind of just soak everything in? But we don't want to do that with people we know. So in any event, I was on the way to his home to tell him no. I get there, a living legend reaches in his pocket that showed up as well and pulled this out. And I said to myself, I knew I should have just called him and told him no. Because I knew what this was. Right? Men, you might be laughing, but ladies, you guys know what this is. And I knew what it was because I'm the only male in my house. And there's about 4, 5, 6, 7, 11 people in there. And I'm the only male, so I knew what this was. Right. Well, ladies, this is obviously a sanitary napkin. But what I want to let you guys know is this is the only industry that can get away with false advertisement. And I'm going to prove it to you this morning. The first thing I want you to notice is, has this been open yet? Hasn't been open yet, right? The seal is still on it. But pay attention to something. The fact that these air pockets are there. And you guys see that?
Yes.
And it's funny, most women never really paid attention to it. But this means it's actually already open. You throw it in your purse, coins, fingernails, makeup crumbs, everything else gets in it, right? But here's my point. We were in Chicago doing a meeting. And there was a nurse there. She said, you know what? You're absolutely right, because if I put a gauze on one of my patients and it was already open like that, I would literally lose my license. So can we agree that this is probably not really a true sanitary item?
Right.
We start on that. So women actually open this thing up, and you might have to shake some of the stuff off of it, right? But what the gentleman did that introduced me to this is they actually put this on the kitchen table. And I believe, Leah, do you actually have one that we can pass around to let them feel it in a minute? If you would get that ready, I'll grab it. It's right here. I'll get it. So when they put this on the kitchen table, I'm going to be honest with you, I was reaching for my cell phone because I said, I'm going to get this on film. But then he reached in his other pocket and pulled this out. And I said, is this what we're doing now? We walk around with sanitary napkins in our pockets? And the answer is yes. So what I want you guys to realize, one of the reasons why I said they're dealing with false advertisements is because I want you to look at this. This says 10 hours, a 10-hour protection system. Ladies, has one of these ever held you for 10 hours?
No.
No, right? So even if you did, it probably wouldn't hold. So this is false advertisement. Now, this is Exhibit B. This is a store-bought brand, and if anybody wants to come up and feel it in a moment, I'm going to let you. This is Exhibit A. This is a Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkin, also known as the world's most comfortable sanitary napkin, also known as the dry pad, right?
Right.
But I want you to notice that it's much thinner. Can you see that? Much smaller, but it's totally sealed. So can we at least agree that this is probably a true sanitary item?
Yes.
Right? Because it's completely sealed. I got a real unique way of opening these, ladies. That don't mean you do it this way. Go ahead and use the seal, but I've been doing a bit too many presentations. I just rip it from the side and snatch it open, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It usually pops right out at me. So they then place the dry pad right next to Exhibit B. Maybe I need to stop popping them open from the side, right? And if nobody's ever felt this, I think we actually have a demo that you guys can feel that we're going to pass around. But I want you to pay close attention that it's a lot smaller and a lot thinner. I mean, it's obvious. You can see that. A lot smaller in size than the whole nine, right? Has anyone here never felt the Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkin? Anybody here never felt it? We want to use you for a guest. So come on up. This is who needs to see it. Give them a hand, guys. Now, I'm going to use you for a test, okay? So I'm going to need your help. I want you to rub your hand on this one. This is Exhibit B. Rub your hand up and down it real good. Now rub your hand on the dry pad and tell everybody which one you honestly think is soft. The dry pad, right? Tell them, let them know.
The dry pad.
All right. Yeah. This is literally who they met with yesterday. I think it was a bunch of fifth graders, and the fifth graders, what, 12 years old? And these are the main people that we need to talk to. Because after you see what you're about to see this morning, if we could get to them before this, I want to find time in your life, thank you, because I didn't want to use the other word, right? Before this time in their life starts, then we can literally potentially save a lot of lives, right? So now, when the founders of this company, ladies and gentlemen, were actually formulating this and getting the idea together, they met with several OBGYNs across the nation, and they found that a woman exudes 15 to 50 milliliters when she's in her feminine flow, which is the word we like to use, on a daily basis. So I don't have my glasses on. You guys let me know. Is that right at 50, which is the first line? I need those young eyes over there right at 50, right? So we're going to put that, which represents a full day's worth of flow, into Exhibit B. We're going to make sure we get it in there real good. And what I want you ladies to understand as well is there's a lot of people that say, well, why is a man showing me this? Here's the deal. Hey, this thing is wide open for women as well. But there was a question that was posed to me the evening that I was introduced to this at the individual's home. They said, is there a woman in your life that you love and care about enough that if you got some information that could potentially save her life, would you share that information? It was a facetious question to me, but the answer was obviously yes. And here we are over a year later. So I have women in my life that I love and care about enough that when I saw the information that you're about to receive, it literally clicked in me. So now here I am doing a demonstration. So to me, if you're on fire, does it matter if a man or a woman puts the water on you to put you out?
Absolutely not.
All right, there we go. So we're going to do the same thing with the dry pad, the Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkin. We're going to put a full day's worth of liquid on it as well. Now, ladies, you guys know this as well. One of the reasons why I'm so excited about this is because this used to be a taboo subject. This used to be something that you guys know. We wouldn't talk about it in public. You ladies would barely talk about it amongst each other. So you've been suffering in silence. So what I'm excited about as well is this is an issue that we're bringing to the forefront and putting on the table, especially for our young babies.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So there are a lot of issues that you guys have been dealing with that you know about. You can go Google, literally, sanitary napkin or harmful effects of sanitary napkins. You can go to webmd.com and hear from the doctor's mouths. We don't have to tell you. I will tell you this, there were 22 million hysterectomies in the U.S. so far. Just last year, there was 600,000. And here's the scary part about it, 70% of those were in your community. 70%. So here's the reason why I'm such an advocate for this. The majority of the women that I talk to that have a hysterectomy, they can't tell them specifically why they need to have it. They can't pinpoint it, but they know they need to take their reproductive system out. So if that don't upset you, you might want to check your blood pressure, but it got me livid when I found out that 1 out of 3 women before the age of 60 will have a hysterectomy here in the U.S. And they don't know what it's stemming from. So I'm submitting to you this morning, we're not saying that this is where it's coming from, but we do know potentially, Once you see the breakdown of this, that this can have something to do with it. Everybody with me? So I've got a napkin here from the house. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to use you again. What's your name? Fatima, can you come up here with me? Give Fatima another hand. I'm going to let you come around this side this time. And I'm going to take this napkin, I'm going to put it over Exhibit B, Fatima. And I want you to take your hand flatly and press up and down that. Press hard. Go all the way up and down. Hold it up for it. Feels yucky, doesn't it? Let them see that. Hold that up for them, Fatima, because this is the issue, guys. This is the issue right here. Your system is failing you. Here's the deal. When you're standing or laying down, that's when this feminine flow is taking place. Here's the problem. Fatima, you're in school, right? How old are you? You're 8? Man, okay, you're mature for 8. So here's the deal. Where are most of the women that are in this stage of life at? They're at work or in school, correct? So they're sitting down most of the day. Would you guys agree? So when a woman is sitting down during this precious time of the month, there's something called a reverse percolation that takes place, almost a suction. Because everything that God designed to leave your body at this precious time of cleansing is now being pulled back in the most absorbent part of your body because the system is failing you. Does that make sense, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another one and I'm going to let Fatima do the same thing on the dry pad. I want you to press your hand up and down that one just like you did the other one.
He said nothing to me today.
You eat your Wheaties this morning? You pressing hard? Hold it up more. Completely dry. Completely dry. So here's the funny thing. Basically, we're done at this point because, ladies, do you want to be wet and uncomfortable? Or would you like to be like Fatima is, dry and comfortable? It's that simple. Give her a hand, guys. Yes. That's powerful. Seems like we're getting in front of more and more children as well. And that's what we have. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dissect Exhibit B right before we wrap up and get to the finale. Because a lot of women say, you know, I've been wearing that all my life, and I've never thought about tearing one open just to see what's actually in it. And we travel the country. Myself and this gentleman here, the champ, literally been all over the country. And women who have been wearing this for 20, 30 years say, I never thought about ripping one of them to see what was really in it. There's a video that I just put out yesterday where there was a spoof song being done, and they were naming the brands in the whole nine.
Oh, wow.
But they stood in the aisle and looked at them, and they said, no ingredients on the label. Right? And I didn't believe it when I first saw it, so I went to Publix and got it scored out because I'm digging all through the feminine. Because I didn't believe there was no way they don't have the ingredients of something this simple on the packaging. But you're going to see why. And you're going to see why, as men, we're so adamant about this. So this is the first layer, Miss Fatima. I'm going to use you again. Come on. You can start. You can just come right up here this time. Just start the show today. I want you to rub your fingers across that and just tell me how it feels. Kind of squeeze it a little bit as you drag it. How does it feel? Feels like kind of wet? Okay. Give it another hand, guys. It's actually still soaking wet. Right? And if I rubbed it on my hand, you can not only hear it, but it would irritate the skin on my hand. Here's where a lot of the irritation comes from. And rashes that our women deal with, because this is the first thing touching the most precious part of their body, and it's not what you think it is. It's, it is, I'm going to say the word, rayon. I was going to say it's synthetic, it's rayon, right? So that's where the irritation is coming from. Fatima, what would you say this is? It looks pretty when you see it through this. It looks like it's part of the absorbency system. But what would you think this blue stuff is? What is it actually made of, this blue stuff, you think? Somebody help her out.
Dye.
There we go. Blue dye. There you go. Like blue crayons. So here's the deal. This actually gets into the absorbency system of this product, Exhibit B. And if it's transferring from here to the absorbency system, where else is it potentially getting? In a woman's bloodstream.
Right.
So this is no more than a piece of paper with blue dye on it. It just looks good through the mesh. Now, here's the fun part. I'll hit you again, Fatima. This one's easy. What would you say this is? Cotton.
Yeah.
They say out of the mouth of babes, right?
Right.
This is what everybody assumes that it is. I'm going to submit to you that it's not cotton. This is actually recycled trash. Shredded up real fine, and not regular trash either. Because if I drop a piece of candy in the trash in my kitchen for team, I might pick it up. Put it right back in my mouth. I'm just kidding. But the trash at the landfill is something that there's a lot of things in that will never be in our household trash can. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
And just keep that image in mind. Imagine them taking products out of there, right? And then shredding it up and then bleaching it to make it white. So you'll think that it's pure cotton. Are you guys with me?
Right.
Here's the problem with that. When you bleach something, okay? I was waving at you. She was like, is he waving at me? When you bleach anything, right, with chlorine, and you have a 98.5 degree body temperature, it causes a chemical called dioxin. Please do your due diligence and look that up. Dioxin, I'm glad y'all far back. Y'all can see that. He was close like he usually was. You know, oh my God, this guy is hitting on me. So, dioxin is over 900 times deadlier than arsenic, and there are no safe levels for the human body to consume dioxin. So does it sound like potentially? Also, if skin is exposed to dioxin, guess what it causes? Automatically.
Cancer.
The big C. So while we don't make any claims or down anything, those are some simple facts about what dioxin does to the human body. Y'all with me? So now what we're going to do is, Ms. Fatima and everybody else, I'm going to take the entire absorbency system out of here, out of this 10-hour protection system, and I want you guys to tell me which one of these cups has the least amount of water in it. This one here has a lot left. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Take the cup with the least amount of water in it and put it in here and let it do what it does. Now, this is the bottom layer of Exhibit B. Where's the preparation? Where's the breathability? There is none because this is going in a trash bag. Are y'all with me?
Yes.
So if you take a trash bag and you line it with trash, fill it with trash, what is this a petri dish for? Bacteria.
Bacteria.
Right? And this is potentially where a lot of these issues are coming from. So you're basically cooking in this. Are y'all with me? And there's the other problem. Ladies have over 17,000 exposures to this. So it's not the first cigarette or one cigarette that a person smokes that gives them cancer. It's what? Repeated exposure to it. Does that make sense? This is why it's a potential that some of the issues are coming from this product. So we're going to do the same thing with Exhibit A, which is what? The dry pad. Dry pad is going to be a household word, guys, this year. Trust me, I'm going to share some stuff with you to let you know that you're definitely in the right place at the right time. Ms. Fatima, real quick, one more game. Rub your fingers across that and tell us how it feels. Feels dry. Anything else? Feels soft? Kind of soft? Soft and dry. All right, you guys. The reason being is because this is what you will want touching the first, most precious part of your body, because this is soft cotton material. That's why. So those fibers, that's not synthetic, right? Now, this is the most exciting part to me about this product, is this strip. This is 100% natural algae strip, and it's infused with negative ions. Negative ions are known as the vitamins of the air by scientists, not by us. Scientists have called them that, right? They can be found at the beach, waterfalls, during a thunderstorm. As a matter of fact, you know when you go into a doctor's office sometimes, and they have those little waterfall things in the office, and you find yourself staring at it, and you're real relaxed before you go in and get your wisdom tooth snatched out. They have those in there, come to find out, because that little thing can be this high, and it's a brass background with water overflowing it. It's releasing negative ions into the room, which is relaxing you and making you calm before you go get that tooth snatched out. Anything like that. Now you know, right? So negative ions have serious benefits. Do your research on that as well. But there are three major benefits in reference to our product. Number one, a lot of women have complained about menstrual cramps. Anybody ever dealt with any cramps at all?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, no guys, good. So anyway,
Real good.
Cramps are a reason why women don't go to work sometimes. Young ladies don't go to school. Well, the negative ions actually relax the uterus, and we have hundreds of testimonies where women have said their menstrual cramps have been significantly reduced or eliminated altogether. How many people like that, right? The second thing is is a lot of ladies, and it's so funny when we travel. You know, women come up and talk to us now about their feminine flow. We feel like we're medical doctors or something. You remember, like the first week we were doing the business, we used to be like, what? After about 2 or 3 weeks, it's like, really? So you probably. So a lot of women will come up to us and tell us that they don't even like they have odor issues. You know, we actually met a lady. I met a pastor who had a member who said the lady left the church because she was being criticized about the odor during that time. So imagine there was nothing that she can get over the counter that would help. But now imagine if you have a product that you got to use anyway that can literally eliminate odor because it kills bacteria. Now we have hundreds of testimonies of women where it's been significantly reduced or the odor issues have been eliminated altogether. How many people like that, right? Yes. Now, the main thing to me is the fact that it balances the pH system. And I was dealing with my fiance being like Fred Flintstone around that time. You know, I walk and she'd be at the top of the steps and I see those green eyes. I'm like, okay, I'll be back in about 2 hours when you're in the bed, right? So now we have a lot of testimonies where women have literally said, I have a sense of well-being. I even have energy increase because negative ions actually put your pH system in balance. And a lot of women have said that it actually feels like there's a fan down there because it also keeps them cool as well. How many people like that? Right? I was smiling because I said, I don't know if I need to get that big. So you guys all agree that this cup has the most amount of water, correct? It has a lot more water, as a matter of fact. What we're going to do is we're going to take out the system in the Cherish Premium Sanitary Napkin and do the same thing. Make sure I don't tear it all the way up here. And you can see it's encased in a very, very nice closure, and it's super absorbent and soft as well. We're going to take it out, put it in the cup with the most amount of water, and let it do what it does. Now, this is the bottom section of the dry pack, and you guys see those lines in there, like little runaway strips, right? Well, here's the deal. If I put this over a cup of tea, you'll be able to see the steam rise through it. Everybody with me? Which means it's what? Very breathable. Right. But if I pour water on top of it, it will actually encapsulate. Which means it's what? Very strong. Don't ask me how it does it. I'm not a scientist. I just know it does what it's supposed to do. But here's the deal. This isn't a plastic trash bag because plastic doesn't tear like that. How many people like that? Which is one of the reasons why it's so comfortable as well. We can kill that one. That's good. Yeah. So now, I want to explain to you guys why as well. Well, I want you to look at that because Fatima, I'm going to want you to tell me what the difference is in those 2 cups in a minute, okay? It has something to do with color. The reason why they have to have their product open for breathability is because the adhesive that's used in order to allow it to stick to the garment is the same grade adhesive that's used in ducting. So if they totally sealed it, it would balloon up. And that would have concerned people. So they leave it open so it can breathe. I was mad when I heard that. The reason why ours can be totally sealed and it is a true sanitary napkin is because our adhesive is a food-based adhesive. So there are no chemicals in it, 100% chemical-free. How many people like that, right? Now, as we wrap up, Fatima, do you see a difference in these 2 cups color-wise? Tell me what the difference is. See, you know I was going to put you on the spot. What's the difference in the color in these 2 cups?
The dry pad is white and the other pad is yellow.
Wow. Did y'all hear that?
Yeah.
She said this one is white, correct? And this one is what? Well, how did this one turn yellow if it was white when I put it in?
Chemicals.
What that is.
What she say?
Chemical reaction.
Oh, look at that.
Maybe.
Also, I noticed the one on the left, it's like if the snow, it sucks up and it also gets soft.
Wow, so you see it breaking down as well. She said maybe it's the chemical reaction. And that's exactly what it is. That's the dioxin film. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and give somebody this secret. I actually keep telling myself that I'm going to start using gloves before I touch this. Because we're doing these demonstrations every day. And we're touching it with poison. So how would you dare allow your daughter or your wife or your sister to use one of these one more time when the baby can see from over there that there's a chemical reaction? So is it absorbing? Is it working? It's
No.
been in there for about, what, 8 minutes? No. And here's where this is why I need a glove. Because I want to make it clear to y'all. I was going to keep that secret and just bust out with a glove on like Michael Jackson one day. Does that look like it's working, Miss Fatima?
No.
Walmart knows that it doesn't work.
Huh?
CVS knows that it doesn't work.
They know it doesn't work.
Walmart
Look at
knows that it
that.
doesn't
Now
work.
I can keep squeezing. I can put all the water. This is the reason why ladies have to change so many times a day. Because the absorbency system doesn't work. How long has ours been here? Maybe 10 minutes or what have you?
Oh, less than that.
Maybe a little bit of water come out, obviously, probably. How about none at all? Look at her face. She should have had a face. How about not a drop? And this is why we're so excited about this.
Right, right.
As a matter of fact, we got this from the champ. He just got an epiphany one day and dumped it in his hand. We turned the liquid into a solid.
Right.
This is why women are so dry and comfortable. How many people like that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you can give some hearts, like I'm online. Y'all can clap for that. I'm online so much doing this. Well, guys, I know, right? Guys, that's literally it. It's the most common sense thing I've ever seen on the planet. But here's the deal. That's exciting. That blew me. The first time I saw it, I'm gonna be honest with you, the room went white, and I almost couldn't talk because I knew exactly what I was supposed to be doing. That's why myself, the champ, Pastor Riley, several other people in the room, Miss Cindy, a lot of people in here are so committed and sold out to this because it simply makes sense. It has a moral fiber to it, right? But what moved me more was to find out about the awareness campaign that the company's leading with so we can make sure that our babies never get exposed to this. Because I don't understand how somebody can go back to the store and buy a tampon or a pad ever again after seeing this, when a child can see it. Right? So the Now We Know campaign is the brainchild of the founders, and it's part of our mission, and it's part of everything about us being mission-driven people. As a matter of fact, on our T-shirts, Cindy, if you stand up and show them on the right side of your sweater, everything we have has mission-driven people on it. Because that's the main thing that we're about with Nspire Network is the mission of getting the word out to millions of men and women about the potential, the baby can see it, but we have to say potential dangers that are in your sanitary items that you're being exposed to on a regular basis. So we have focus groups like we're